Oh man, that was awesome. Oh shit. All right, cool. All right, so we were talking about slavery before. You know, like all of our clothes are made by slaves. We are slaves too, but like,
sure.
You know, like what can only rich people can take advantage of the slave labor overseas, and you know what's happened to them. But middle class people, this sounds evil, but I know a few of them would really want to be able to cash in on this slave labor and try to be able to like enrich themselves, just
Kathy
like
Lee.
Kathy Lee. Yeah, man. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, back in the mid '90s. Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, how can middle class people benefit from slavery? I don't know. I couldn't even fathom.
Well,
how.
I mean, the only way middle class people benefit from slavery is that their clothes are affordable.
Sure. I mean, like,
it's sad, but it's true.
It's and I mean, there's precious few like American-made clothing companies. You can buy your, what some would describe as overpriced clothing, but it's there if you want to devote that much more of your income for it.
Okay, now
same thing with food. You can spend more money and get food that wasn't imported from like Argentina.
To me, I mean, slavery, while it has existed for as long as mankind itself has existed, essentially, I feel like slavery in the modern day is more a product of inflation, and I chalk inflation up. I feel like
the
inflation.
elite group of international beggars has hijacked the nation that our forefathers have conquered.
Well, there's that, but anyway.
But I was going to say, more down to earth. I was going to say, inflation is kind of it's a man-made concept. It's just chalked up there with like time, or like it's the same thing. It's
sure.
just it's arbitrary. It's completely arbitrary, and it's based solely on just like. Well, we want it to cost more now,
exactly.
So it will.
Well, that's interesting. And that goes back to your brief rant about the international bankers, because it's like, it is an arbitrary man-made thing, and the question is, like, which men made it? And the answer is an elite group of very wealthy people.
It's written into the deal.
Yeah, but I mean,
the deal.
But the problem is that that's something that's so horrifically ingrained into society and has been over the past millennia.
Of money, like the monetary system, and
even just at the point. I mean,
but it's crazy.
What the hell makes gold so much more precious a metal than any other metal?
Just its rarity. It's a vanity thing.
The Anunnaki use it as fuel, and they come back every 5,000 years to harvest all the gold that mankind is.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know all about the smelted gold chutes that are built into the pyramids to recharge the UFOs to get them back to their home planets, but.
Right. And here I was thinking it was just rarity. I don't know.
No, that's what the eyeball is on the dollar bill. It's a spaceship. It's a spaceship shaped like an eyeball.
Wow.
I mean, it was God to them.
Check the dollar bill, y'all. There it is.
What's interesting is, like, yeah, you're right. It's been millennia that we've been victim of, like, the monetary system, but they always are trying to tweak it and gain an upper hand, and like in a lot of ways, the history of this country is the history of a tug of war between like central banks and like an independent money supply. So that's where we're at. I mean,
that's where we're at. Where
it wasn't
been.
Yeah.
Neo Mayo. Then I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
All right, great. Okay, we're gonna go to commercial.
All right.
And thanks for listening.
Savage Rock School is a nonprofit teaching center dedicated to showing kids and adults how to rock. At Savage Rock School, you can learn a variety of different instruments, styles, and techniques to further your knowledge of music theory and application. Learn music and make music at Savage Rock School, located at 7 South Black Horse Pike at the intersection of Route 168 and Church Street in Blackwood, New Jersey.
And we're back.
Hi, friends.
Hi, friends. And low friends.
So we were talking about monopoly money.
Yeah, I was trying to get into just like some of the recent changes, and by recent I mean like the past 100 years that our money has gone through. Like even up until the 1970s, the dollar bill used to be literally redeemable in silver.
Yeah, well,
so, like,
you can blame FDR, you can blame Nixon mostly.
Yeah.
Okay, excuse me. These guys are just actors. They're figureheads that they want you to blame. The people behind these guys are who to blame, you know?
Right, but you don't know their names, the shadow figures, quote unquote.
It's like whenever
you don't know
anybody
their names, so you have to just go with, well, I'll blame the person who was the figurehead of the regime at the time.
I guess that is the point of the figurehead.
I mean, that's like blaming King George for the American Revolution. It's ridiculous. There was an entire parliament at that point who enacted the taxation without representation in the states. Like, that was what the states wanted at the time, was just, we want, like, people in parliament representing us.
Yeah.
We want our representation. We want, like, states' rights, basically.
Now states' rights is a racist thing.
Yeah.
Well, now it just means states' rights. Mexicans.
No. The problem is that states' rights is too often represented by some redneck toting the Confederate flag. And I feel like that there needs to be a separation between the Civil War and there needs to be a separation between the Civil War and states' rights. There needs to be I know that's what the Civil War was about, and Lincoln was, intelligent and spinning it into being about slavery, and that made the Civil War a necessity. But the Civil War was an absolute necessity. Now, where that wound us up may not have been the best place, but you have to consider, if Lincoln hadn't been shot, if Lincoln had have been able to just follow through post-Civil War for any period of time, what he could have potentially done that would have changed from the, defamed, impeached Andrew Johnson.
Right. And why was he shot? Why did they kill Lincoln,
Well, he was in a theater and, John Wilkes Booth just didn't like his stink, so
it's just amazing.
He
There's certain similarities between what happened with Kennedy and what happened with Lincoln.
Well, yeah, Lincoln was killed in Ford's theater. Kennedy was killed in a Ford Lincoln. It's
one of the most.
Beyond that, like they both. Lincoln had issued. I don't know if they were called greenbacks, but he issued money from basically the U.S. Mint as opposed to any sort of central bank. He basically told the bankers to fuck off. This was towards the end of the war when he started to wake up and realize the bigger picture and realize what role he played in terms of just like paving the South for the bankers. And one of the quotes that he had put out towards his assassination was, or one of the things he had said and he's quoted for is, I have two great enemies, the South below me and the bankers to my north. And he said, of these two great enemies, the one I worry about is the bankers more than the Southern Army. And there's just a lot of shit going on in that vein in terms of why he fell out of favor by the people that are truly in power.
Lincoln.
All right, do you know what the ADL is?
The ADL? Anti-Defamation.
The Anti-Defamation League. It's funded by who?
Funded by, I would assume, the state of Israel. I don't know exactly.
Rockefellers.
Oh, yeah.
Who is the front family for who?
Or the Rockenfelders, as they were originally known.
Oh, really? They changed the name. Anyway, if you look on the ADL website and look up what they think about sovereigns or people who are related to the sovereign movement, whatever, it ties them in with racists who are against the 14th Amendment. And
absolutely,
which is the amendment that they passed after the Civil War that gave gave citizenship to African Americans and all races. Everybody is like equal. Whatever, and not women. Anyway,
or Native Americans. Native Americans got the right to vote. See, that's the thing that people always point out, like, women didn't get the right to vote till after black people, and that's terrible. But Native Americans, the people who were supposed to be here, they couldn't vote till after anybody.
Well, I dug into it deeper, the whole sovereign thing, and it turns out the 14th Amendment is bad because
that's what corporations use too.
Right, that's
some people. So there's no.
They changed the definition of citizen.
Well, it's ironic because they used to do the whole for congressional representation, a slave would count as 2/3 of a person. When they enacted the 14th Amendment, everybody counted as 2/3 of a person.
Ooh,
yeah,
damn. All right,
Brad,
we're gonna play
many
Brad's
thanks to
new
Brad.
song. We'll see you later. All right. Really quick, I'm going to introduce you to the concept behind de-jabronification.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I want to state for the record that I think the idea of using the word jabroni is a little bit lame. It's a tad outmoded. It's a bit I hate to go a little cliche, but it's a little brutish.
What do you think a jabroni is? Explain to us.
Okay.
Literally, what is a jabroni?
Well, I'll have you know that when I was in middle school, I was quite into wrestling, and I read the Rock's.
Wrestling's fake, right? It's like the news.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, it's all
pre-decided. It's all
it's
pre-planned.
not quite
like,
as entertaining as the news. I don't know.
Anyway, what is a jabroni
anyway? Okay, well, according to the Rock's autobiography, which was ghostwritten, unlike Mick Foley's autobiography, which I would recommend to anybody, even non-wrestling
This may be
fans.
the most knowledgeable guest we've had speaking on this subject to date.
A jabroni is a person in the wrestling community, because that's where the term originated,
Yes.
is within the wrestling community.
Come here, you jabroni.
And a jabroni, from what I can recollect in my addled brain, is he basically anybody who kind of like is like an asshole, like within the back room, like inner workings of wrestling, like a person who's not necessarily a heel on camera but is certainly one off camera, like the Ultimate Warrior, for instance, would probably be the most famous quote unquote jabroni in the technical actual sense of all time.
You know who's not a jabroni?
Who?
Look in the mirror.
Why, thank you.
Wow.
And me too, and you. And yes,
Jabroni
you, the
free zone.
listener.
Oh, we need like
you don't have to be a jabroni.
We need
you know,
some
like
kind.
you
We
can-
need a weird mirror given.